So here you are, a guy who basically led the league in sacks, a 3-time Pro Bowl selection, veteran pickup. Oh, by the way, it's not going to cost the Philadelphia Eagles anything except for a 4th-round pick. Back at it again. It's the Football Playbook with your boy RIC, and the place to be, Ric Serritella. Telling it like it is here for your Philadelphia Eagles, National Football League, college football landscape, and the entire football universe, broadcasting around the globe, wherever you may be tuned in. Thank you for joining us here on the JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. It's all brought to you by Ocean Casino Resorts. Hey, get it in early. Smash that like button. Help your boy out in the algorithm, because we're going to buckle up for a double chin strap affair. What up, Antonio, SMD, all my chat room people? Where you at in the front and the back? Oh, baby. Howie strikes again, your NFL Executive of the Year, Howie Roseman, making a deal for your Robert Quinn in exchange for a 4th-round pick. Big-time news here. Big-time news here to add really an all-pro caliber type of player. 18.5 sacks a year ago. Just 1 sack in 2022 this year. A lot of that being a byproduct of double-team coverage. So here you are, a guy who basically led the league in sacks, a 3-time Pro Bowl selection, veteran pickup. Oh, by the way, it's not going to cost the Philadelphia Eagles anything except for a 4th-round pick and 700 G's. Wow. Howie Roseman just made the biggest deal of the trade deadline. I don't care what else goes down from here on out. He got the biggest name that's going to be dealt. He got the most impact player that was available on the open market. Antonio with the line, how'd he do that? It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. That's what time it is. Howie Roseman. Are you kidding me? He somehow convinced the Bears to pick up $7.1 million of that contract this year. So in essence, the Eagles will sacrifice a 4th-round pick, a day 3 selection, acquire a guy who's coming off a 20-sack season, and they're just going to have to be on the hook for $700,000. You inject him opposite of Hassan Reddick in the mix with Josh Sweat, along with Brandon Graham. This is an upgrade from Derek Barnett, who went out for the season at the beginning of the year. The Eagles just got themselves a massive addition that has crowned them arguably the best defense in the league now. Hey, Dallas Cowboys went out and got Jonathan Hankins. Hey, I'll see you, your Jonathan Hankins, and raise you a Robert Quinn. Wow. Just a monumental, what a deal. Howie Roseman is orchestrating a top-notch symphony as we listen to him strum the harp for all the wannabe contenders in the NFC. Whose defense is better than this now? You know, Dallas might have a better pass rush. Maybe. Not anymore. Tell you what, Eagles are right up there, man. This rotation is elite, Dev. Absolutely right. You've got to account for Hassan Reddick. Otherwise, Robert Quinn's going to shake loose, get loose. And if you don't account for Robert Quinn, then Josh Sweat's going to be in the rotation. And oh, by the way, man, like Jordan Davis, when he's in the game, he commands double team coverage. Fletcher Cox, what do you want to do there? I mean, I want to see Jordan Davis now in these 4-man fronts. Show me Jordan Davis next to Fletcher Cox, next to Hassan Reddick, next to Robert Quinn. Oh, my God. The Eagles' defense is a problem. Sean S. says, so does Robert Quinn not get a bye week? It's okay because he's in a rotation. His bye week will be this week. I don't anticipate he'll play a whole heck of a lot of downs. Maybe some third down pass rush situations. See quarterback, chase quarterback, get quarterback. This is Robert Quinn's bye week. Yeah, he'll play. They'll put him in some pass rushing situations, but I imagine he probably just touched ground on Philadelphia's soil. I'm sure Gannon sent him the playbook for the plane ride. You know, tomorrow's a walkthrough essentially. So, they can use him in some third down pass rush situations where, again, get in there, Robert. If they double team you, great. Mission accomplished. If they don't, if they double team Reddick, hey, you're going to have some one-on-one matchups with a terrible, terrible Steelers defensive line. Yo, I got people from New Zealand checking in. What up? Dude, I'm so fired up today because not only did the Eagles just take a step closer to a Super Bowl championship, I've been on scouting call since 8 a.m., 2 hours in. I had to depart my NFLPA Collegiate Bowl brethren. Man, on a side note, some of the names being talked about in this year's draft who are going to get Senior Bowl invites and be amongst the top of the draft board are going to blow your mind. Woo! Wow. So we got a lot to get into. Robert Quinn being the headliner. Nick Sirianni had his press conference yesterday. Jalen Hurts met with the media. I've got an update on Lane Johnson. Tyree Jackson's practice window is opened. And we got some news and notes from around the league. At 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, our good friend Eric Edholm from NFL.com is going to chime in with his national perspective of Robert Quinn, some other names that could be moved. 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we'll have Alex Kozar from Steelers Depot, another one of my Draft Nick brethren, but really probably the largest Steelers website in terms of coverage, period, that I can find out there. Steelers Depot has been doing it for quite some time, and Alex Kozera will check in there. But, man, back to this rotation with Reddick and Sweat and Graham and Quinn with the interior of Cox and Davis and Hargrave, Maron, Mamiya. This is, to me, the best defensive line in football. And to me, while the cornerback depth is not great, and I thought McPherson did adequate, in terms of 1 and 2, and you can argue 1, 2, and 3 when Maddox is healthy, but Bradbury and Slay are the top 1-2 cornerback tandem in the league. So you got the top cornerback duo, you got the top defensive line unit, you got just grinders in the middle, lunch bucket kind of guys, TJ Edwards and Kaiser White. I guess now safety becomes the weakness of this defense. And, if they got to go the rest of the way with Epps and Gardner, it's okay. It's okay. Now, Howie's not done yet. Howie's not done. He is all in. Didn't I tell you guys this is the greatest opportunity to win? The window is now. You've got Jalen Hurts on a rookie deal making about $2 million. The opportunity to win a chip will not be as great as you can't dream up a better scenario than being undefeated, a quarterback on his rookie deal. You just acquired Robert Quinn after an offseason that saw you acquire Hassan Reddick and James Bradbury. You traded for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You added A.J. Brown. You meshed all these pieces together. You've got a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense. Now is the time to pounce. And oh, by the way, you know who Howie's talking to now? You know who he's in negotiations with? A little birdie told me. Howie Roseman is now attempting to acquire Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints. Think about that. Think about that. Woo! If you get Alvin Kamara, baby, watch out, because the Eagles are going to soar to the top of my power rankings. And I'll tell you what, I had the Bills, the Chiefs, and then the Eagles. I think Quinn really puts them in the same conversation of those two teams. And you get Alvin Kamara, I think the Eagles are clearly the best team in the National Football League. The chat room's loving it. I love all my chat room people. Sean S., William Stark, Richard Rosanio, all my paisanos, Dev, Sean, Antonio, Sully Music, Espo, I know it hurts. You mentioned Kamara. Well, hey, Howie Roseman's trying to make it a reality for the Philadelphia fans. Why not? Why not? And I told you, don't sit tight. Don't get cute and fancy and say, hey, you know, the chemistry's so good. We don't need to mess with that. Baloney. Baloney. You're telling me Robert Quinn and Alvin Kamara don't just, take you to the next stratosphere? I feel real good about it. There is not going to be a suspension coming for Alvin Kamara this year. That window that has come and gone. Maybe next year. And I don't think Howie Roseman is worried about what next year brings right now. He's worried about this year. And he's saying, yo, Miles Sanders, I can roll with that. But, yo, let me hit him with an upgrade. Oh, my God, Alvin Kamara. Could you imagine Kamara in this offense? The receiving threat. He's a better player than CMC, in my opinion. So, okay, San Francisco, you want to add Christian McCaffrey. Okay, Jonathan Hankins, we see you there in Dallas. Hey, Robert Quinn, welcome to Philly. Alvin Kamara, stand by. I don't know, MJ, what the compensation for Kamara would be, but I'll tell you this. I don't believe in drafting running backs in the first round. I don't believe in trading first-round picks in exchange for a running back. But if it's a deal breaker, and I got to give up the Eagles' first-round pick in exchange for Alvin Kamara, knowing that opportunities like this come around once in a lifetime, sign me up. It's the exception to the rule. Count me in. Very rarely will I say that. Very rarely will I say, hey, let's use a first-round pick on a running back, but Kamara is a pretty known commodity. I know what I'm getting, and I know that's a luxury piece to inject into an offense that puts you over the top. The Eagles can win with this team right here, right now. Kamara, I think, takes them to another level. As Emerald Lagasse would say, kick it up a notch. Bam! Let me add a little bam! And a little bit of bam! And oh, by the way, while we're at it in the kitchen, I'll add one more little bam! Bro, you add Alvin Kamara, it's going to look like Bam Bam Bigelow in here. Whew! I got so caught up in the scouting calls, I forgot how much fun we're going to have today. It's the Football Playbook with your boy, RIC, in the place to be. Ric Serritella, telling it like it is when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, everything football, the National Football League. Hey, Robert Quinn, has he touched down? Did anybody? I'm sure there's some pictures out there of him landing in the Philadelphia airport when he does arrive. Can't wait. Oh, my God. Guys, what a great day. By the way, you want to know what kind of leader, what kind of veteran you're getting in Robert Quinn? And I would love the addition of Jabril Peppers, Dev. I'm a big fan. I think he would be an excellent addition, and he can also return punts. Man, I'm a little bit frazzled here, man. I'm so excited. So Roquan Smith found out about the trade as he was doing a press conference, and the guy, pretty much broke down and started crying. He was so upset to see Robert Quinn go that Roquan Smith started breaking down and crying, as he was talking to the media, because Robert Quinn means so much to the Bears. Oh, by the way, you just took the biggest stud in Chicago and placed him in Philly as a role player, baby. Woo! How you like that? You like that? I like it. So here we go. And speaking of safeties, Eddie Jackson from Chicago is apparently on the trade block. What? Yo, a 4th-round pick for Robert Quinn. I got a bag of Doritos in the back seat. Oh, my God. Yo, can we get some Eddie Jackson, Chicago, since you're quitters? And here's a team still in the hunt. They just beat up on New England, and they're giving up. They're giving up. They're quitters. They're quitters in Chicago. Oh, man. I feel a lot better today, Adams exploits, now that we got Robert Quinn in tow. And I'm having visions of another parade come February, right around my birthday, too. It'll be perfect timing, February 10th. Let's plan the parade now. I'm ready. It's been 5 years. I'm not even an Eagles fan, but I had the best time of my life. That's the biggest, the baddest, the best party on the planet I ever been to. Downtown Philly, hanging on the statues. Cops drinking beer and smoking weed in the streets with the fans. Unbelievable. What a scene. We might get it again. Oh, man. That's the cure I needed. That's the dose of medicine that Oceana and myself were looking for, the dose of the realest of the real. Oh, my God, guys. What a day. By the way, Robert Quinn is on his way to Philly. Alvin Kamara could be next. Lane Johnson, finally, we got an update there yesterday. Coach Sirianni met with the media, said Lane is still in the concussion protocol, which is to be expected. But Reuben Frank reporting that by the end of practice late Wednesday, Lane Johnson was out on the field, going through some motions, getting some practice reps in. So Reuben Frank saying he is in the final stages of the concussion protocol, which means what? It means he will need to see an independent neurologist as the final step to be cleared between now and Sunday, which it looks like, if I had to guess, it's looking like he's going to play. When asked about it further, Sirianni just said, hey, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully everybody will play. So he's hopeful. Hopeful everybody will play. He did give a shout out to some of the lower tier coaches. Of course, they did their self-evaluations that we've heard so much about during the bye week. Gave a lot of kudos to guys like Alex Tanney, the analytics department. Lot of hours, a lot of man hours. He kept that going. And he said, we've got the best analytics department, whatever that means. On the trade deadline, right? They asked, hey, are you having these conversations with Howie? And he says, that's the great part about working with this organization is we talk about everything. So whether it's Robert Quinn, Alvin Kamara, Eddie Jackson, Jabril Peppers, whoever, they're huddled up. They talk about it. They break bread. You know, maybe Sirianni brings a little nice bottle of vino for the conversation, you know. Woo. SMD Eagles, it's not about the severity of the concussion. It's the fact that it was Lane Johnson's third concussion in 5 years, plus the new protocol implemented that the NFL and NFLPA tweaked 2 weeks ago. There's a 5-step process in order to get back onto the field. But considering it was his third concussion, they've got to be extra careful. That's the severity of it. It's not necessarily this single concussion. It's the accumulation of concussions. And don't forget, I'm not trying to combine the two. Lane Johnson missed some time with some mental issues. So you got to make sure as an older player, as a veteran guy, as somebody who Eddie Kratz sat here and told us was contemplating retirement coming into the season. How is his head doing? Both physically, mentally, where you at, Lane? And he said, look, in terms of new players coming into the locker room, like Robert Quinn and maybe Alvin Kamara are about to do, he said the cultures, the leaders, all they do in this locker room is embrace the new players. And he used examples like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who was acquired midseason, James Bradbury, who was acquired like the final week right before training camp, and all these players that have come in and just fit in seamlessly. He was also asked about Kenny Pickett coming out of college. What was your scouting report, Coach? Said, I was a big Kenny Pickett fan. Praised his accuracy, his quick decision-making, his underrated ability with his legs to move the chains. Intelligence is off the charts. He's got a lot of tools, that Kenny Pickett, according to Coach Ric Serritella. Also, I thought it was interesting. He did allude to like the fact that Jalen Hurts is essentially considered one of the coaches. He's like, yeah, he's a coach. He's a coach on the field. And he did receive the notes of all the coaches and the feedback. I'll get into Jalen Hurts' press conference later on in the show. But Hurts and Gannon huddled up and had conversations. And Hurts talked about how much he enjoyed that because he got to pick Jonathan Gannon's brain about like, yo, if you were game planning for me, how would you try to attack me or stop me? And so they had some interesting conversations there. Again, Eric Edholm in about 10 minutes. But before we do, I mean, we can't just sit here and have the Eagles make a monumental move and not get the pulse of the people, the people's champ, Tone DeShields II, the producer behind the scenes that makes all the magic happen. I gotta see. I've been on scouting calls all morning long. I gotta see. I haven't been able to tune into the JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. Tone, give me the finger on the pulse. How you feel? You got a temperature? You got the fever? Did my fever go over to the Tone DeShields side of the screen?
Listen, man, I'm telling you right now, the kitchen is hot. The kitchen is hot. We cooking with fish grease, y'all. Get excited. Get excited. Look, man, let's really put this thing into perspective. You bring in a 32-year-old pass rusher who is a proven commodity. Now, he's having a down moment in the season, 1 sack through 6 games. That's the reality. It is what it is. But last season, he had 18.5 sacks through 17 games. There's no way that drop-off is real. That drop-off doesn't make sense to me. Something was going on. Now, the word is there was a changing of the guard when it came to the defensive coordinator in Chicago. So apparently he fell out of favor and he was getting double teamed every play, and that defensive line didn't really have too many guys to help him out. So he was essentially just running up against a brick wall every single day. And you're 32 years old playing damn near 70% of the snaps. That can't work. So now he enters a situation where he's probably going to go from playing 70% of the snaps to about 45% of the snaps. Yep. You mix in with Brandon Graham. You mix in with Josh Sweat. You mix in with Hassan Reddick. Oh. You still got the young guy Patrick Johnson over there that you could probably sprinkle in every now and again if things get a little too hot.
If you have to.
If you have to. You dig what I'm saying? You got Jordan Davis. You got Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Milton Williams. Step your weight up a little bit and you'll get on the bus. But other than that, man, your Philadelphia Eagles came to play. And this is the kind of move that tells you where they see Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. This is the kind of move that lets you know how far they believe they can go. This is the kind of move that clearly indicates to me it's Super Bowl or bust with these guys. Pay attention to what they did with CMC in San Francisco. Pay attention to what the Dallas Cowboys did with Jonathan Hankins. Both those moves, in my opinion, are in response to the 6-0 Eagles. They got to keep up, and we got to keep pace. That's just how I see it, Rick.
One more could be on the horizon. How do you feel about the possibility of injecting an Alvin Kamara into this offensive attack?
It's so funny. Dan Sileo was talking about this not too long ago, I believe earlier this week. And, you know, I think this is the kind of deal they should make. Call me crazy, but this is what I suggested. You trade the 32nd overall pick. Remind you, you still have a potential top 5 overall pick from the Saints. Yep. So you said to them, you know what? I'll throw you a bone, New Orleans. I'll give you our 32nd overall pick. I'll let you have that. You give us Alvin Kamara, straight up. And then in the draft, you can flip that top 5 overall pick, trade back a few picks, and then you could flip that into 2 first-round picks again.
Or you might get Will Anderson.
However you want to play it. If your guy isn't there in the top 5 or top 6, you could probably trade back because quarterbacks are going to be a hot commodity in this draft. You could trade back to a desperate team. You could turn that one you could turn that first that top 5 overall pick into 2 first-round picks, maybe 2 mid-rounds. You know, you can or 1 mid-round for that current season, and then another first-rounder for the following season. Now you got 2 first-rounders for the 2024 draft. So you can play around with it.
Let me throw this scenario, though. CMC went for a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th this year and a 5th next year. How about we just give the same exact compensation package? You cool with that?
Now, here's the thing. The Eagles only have 6 draft picks this year. They don't have I believe they don't have a 5th, 6th. I think they have a first.
Well, between this year's draft and next year's draft, we can give the equal kind of compensation: 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th.
Okay, I get what you
rather
mean.
Do that one?
Hey, listen. Regardless of how it goes down, I don't get paid. I don't get paid to make it work, Rick. All I know is, hey, make it work. But listen, I'm super excited because we have our guy.
We're just here to celebrate, baby.
At home. We have our guy Eric at home behind the scenes, about to come in and lay it out on the line for it. He's about to break it all down. He's our NFL guy. He covers the league, you know, from top to bottom, left to right, east to west, north to south, whatever you need. Eric at home is going to come in and break it down for you guys. I'm really excited to hear his perspective. Rick, take us into that break, man.
All right, let's do it. Let's pay some bills. When we come back, my guy Eric Edholm from NFL.com is going to give us his reaction on the Robert Quinn trade, the NFL trade deadline, your Philadelphia Eagles, and everything football right after this.